We are now in game number 7. Good evening, ladies, gentlefers, and my lovely NBs. We are here live in Las Vegas at Fremont Palace for the ultimate showdown between the Wild Cards and the BGR Tides. My name is Marcus Baylor, and to my right is Ryan Eastman. How are you doing, dude?
Are we in game 7? I feel like we're in game 8 or 9 at this point with the fact that we've had 2 overtime games, the last two last 2 games of this series. It doesn't feel like a game 7. It feels like we're a little further than that right now.
Oh yeah, we have really went above and beyond in game number 5 and game number 6 when everybody counted out Las Vegas and expecting the Tides to wrap this up within 5 or more likely 6. We got 2 overtime thrillers that ended up having Las Vegas on top, and now they have an opportunity to really commit to a 3-game sweep for the past 3 games and go ahead and take home the trophy.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to say the momentum is all in Vegas's court right now. Uh, you know, Not only does Bangor have to realize that they have given up 2 great opportunities to have won. It's not even like Vegas came out and was like, okay, yeah, we got beat by Vegas. Bangor had the lead in both games in the
Mhm.
final couple seconds, and it just came down to Vegas tying it and Bangor not being able to make a buzzer beater and then losing it in overtime.
Yeah, that certainly has been the case, and you really got to give credit to both of the bigs for the wild cards. Both Brandon and Ivy, respectively, had really played lights out, especially when it came to game number 6, when everything was when everything counted the most.
Yeah, and Murphy stepping it up as well on the wild cards definitely helped push them. But looking on over to Bangor, we need to see you know the big step up as well. Oakley struggled in overtime in that last game, and he tried to force a few shots. Angel has been a bit absent at times this series, and
Mhm.
Kataguri even coming off the bench has, ever since the first couple games where she really came out strong, has kind of disappeared as the series has gone on. And as Robbins and Brandon have gone better as the series went, I feel like the Tide's post has gotten worse.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing also have to coming into being able to try and stretch the floor a little bit because both teams have been going pound for pound within the paint, but they haven't really been able to use a lot of their perimeter games. And we did see that in game 6 when it came to the wild cards. I would expect guys like Ash, AMR to really kind of pick it up a little bit and really show up in offense and show them because we're going to have a wild crowd here in Las Vegas.
No doubt. And, speaking of, I see the players heading to the court now, so let's cut on down live. Tip-off goes once again to the wild cards. And I do want to see some three-point game getting going even from the wild cards. Morrison, Murphy, and Doyle definitely stepped it up as Brandon going to get the first basket to start this game off.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon continuing on his hot streak after having a 20-point performance in game number 6, expecting a lot of noise from him as well.
And Inari going to answer back immediately with a drive to the basket. She stepped up in the mid part of the series, and I want to see her come out strong here tonight. Coming from Queens, finding ourselves immediately in the finals is a huge thing. And Murphy, got dished a great pass down low in the post for that finger roll answer back.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Brandon was able to make a pass like that. That really zipped over across into the paint.
Yeah, and I want to see, we saw some screens there to get Ash open. And there was that play that gets him to the top of the arc, and I want to see them utilize that a little bit more. And, ooh, big foul from Brandon. Now, the wild cards are now 1-1 in terms of when Brandon fouls out. Obviously, last game managed to hold off until the overtime before fouling out. But fouls have been a big issue for the wild cards, and he's drawing one early here.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the expectation when it comes to the Tides is that they've been able to take advantage of trying to draw fouls against the Big Bear, especially with how young he is and really trying to kind of mess with his psyche a little bit.
Not just that. Oh, ball stripped by
Whoa.
Oakley. Great active pause from the Black Bear. And Inari finds the fast break dish from Ash and dunks it down. Bangalore taking the first lead of the game.
And honestly, you really need that kind of energy if you're the Tides, making sure that try to quiet down this crowd as much as possible with a ferocity with that dunk.
Yeah, and great turnover. That was something I pointed out at the end of the game last time, and a foul on Oakley will send Doyle to the line for 2, was the fact that Vegas had almost double the turnovers generated on Vegas had double the turnovers, and Bangor only had 1 more point off turnover than the Vegas Wildcards. So they were getting great turnovers, just the defense was shutting them down.
Yeah, for sure. And it really kind of goes to how well both defenses have played so far throughout the year. But it really comes into play that they need to be able to take advantage of those opportunities as well.
Yeah, and doing so on the fast break is one great way. And, we've seen some fast breaks, but, the pace of play has varied at times. And, Murphy, good interception on the pass down to AMR. Morrison, speaking of, trying to do a fast break of her own to answer back. No good, and Oakley will pull down the board.
Yeah, sometimes when you're pretty much matching pace for pace, you do need to slow it down and try to catch up if there are too many bodies trying to rush that in.
And Inari, I talked about wanting to see her step up. She's already got 6 points to start this game.
Yep, being the main scorer for the Tides here, really trying to attack that paint as much as possible.
And that's going to open up the perimeter once again. We've seen both teams able to hit the 3 at some key moments, but they've always been attacking the paint, and that's also been a problem for Vegas. That's where a lot of those turnovers come in, when they keep trying to push the paint. But Doyle there off the screen from Brandon hits that mid-ranger.
Yeah, but now we're tied up all again, 8 apiece. But right now, both sides doing a very good job trying to attack each other's paint. They're really testing each other's defenses here.
And we'll have to see if any illegal screens start to come into play, as Ash calling for a screen there to get an open look. Step back, no good. Brandon going to pull down the board and hand it off to Murphy. To Doyle now, attacking the paint and going to draw contact on Ash, sending Doyle to the line for another 2.
Yep, have an opportunity to take the lead here with these next 2 free throws. Well, and honestly, that's probably going to be a discussion that we have to have as well, is how often each side is going to be on the charity stripe.
Yeah, and already, Ash and Oakley getting fouls called on them on Bangor's side now. Last game, we saw AMR get into some foul trouble. But this time, if they can get Ash and Oakley both in some, the Defensive Player of the Year and the runner-up to Defensive Player of the Year into foul trouble early, that might actually start opening some lanes for the wild cards.
Yeah, for sure. As a mid-ranger goes down there for Oakley, tying these things back up once again.
Yeah, AMR. I'd like to see him going from the perimeter. When Inari came in, he got pushed back to the shooting guard role. That gives him more opportunities to play off the ball. Robbins losing the ball, but gets it back. Ooh, the hook shot is good. Good, calm, and collected there from the Great Dane.
Making something out of nothing in that possession. And Tides have really been very pesky with their pause on defense. Lots of steals throughout the series when it comes to the Tides.
Yeah, and again, it's coming in the paint as Oakley. Big shot there just outside the free throw line, and Brandon not able to get a paw in the face of the other Bear, but starting to stretch his range a little bit there, Oakley.
You got to enjoy that. That was a pretty shot from the Bear.
Morrison calling for an ISO play. Crossing over, losing the ball, and again, it's when they're trying to attack the basket in isolation, these paws they have like magnets for the ball on Bangor.
Yeah, that's something that they really need to be wary of when it comes to ISO plays, because they are one of the best defenses in the league for a reason, as Oakley's trying to lay it up, but it's not going to be good this time.
Yeah, had the matchup he wanted, as Brandon had to switch off thanks to the screen, but just not able to get it to fall. And Doyle on the other end again, ISO. Spin move into the paint and blocked by Oakley.
Great help defense there from Oakley, trying to given the opportunity for the Tides to take the lead.
Well, both teams starting to struggle a little bit here as back and forth, missed possessions on both ends. Morrison now with the ball. Dishing to Doyle, who gets a lane to the basket, sends it up, but no good. And Inari somehow able to pull the ball down against Robbins.
Yeah, a little bit of an awkward placement there for both of the defenders to try and get the rebound. And we get another foul there for Baylor. That'll be his second of the game.
Taking a second to get up there as he looks up at the lights. I mean, I'm sure he knows he's about to be subbed out. 2 fouls in under 6 minutes is not good. And I see someone on the sideline ready to come in, so that will be the last we see of Brandon probably for the rest of this quarter.
Yeah, and you can tell that he was very frustrated there, getting his second foul already. And that's kind of been the theme so far in this series of how often the Tides have attacked both Ivy and Brandon. Brandon especially trying to get them to make some key mistakes to get them out of the game.
Good on the second. Like I said, I definitely want to see by the end of the game what the charity stripe looks like. Both sides definitely getting called for contact on the way up. And, you know, ball tipped on the passing lane. Dangerous pass into the post there. And AMR, quick play on the fast break from beyond the arc is good.
And now the Tides have a little bit of a comfort lead. Not by much, but it's not surprising that Vegas does decide to call a timeout as they are starting to lose a little bit of momentum here.
Well, I mean, the crowd, as you can tell, has just gone absolutely quiet.
Yeah, the frustrations really are starting to come into fruition. Like both teams are fairly young, so lots of emotions are riding high in this game 7. They need to be able to calm things down and try and find to get that momentum back.
Well, and Doyle needs to, be that calming presence. He is the veteran of Vegas, and he needs to be able to step it up for the team and lead the way in a sense of that being calm, collected. And Robbins, good play down low in the post, and she's able to get that to fall. I mean, that's not to say even Wallstein, the other veteran really on Vegas, needing to step in and be a calming force. Because, like I said, you got a lot of young players and a lot of, I don't want to say ego, but, personality.
Yeah. I mean, the emotions are pretty high here throughout the Vegas locker room. A lot of second or third year players in the starting lineup, and really they're just trying to find a way to continue that mesh as Morrison is able to go ahead and get the easy layup.
Yeah, great way to attack the basket. Bangor had started to pull away there, up by 5 at that moment, but Vegas needs to start getting some stops. And Ari backing it up, giving it back to AMR. I saw some double screens to get Ash open, but no, they're going to go to Angel, and the ball nearly lost. And just Inari having to take a last-second 3 is no play developed. And, bad shot.
Yeah, really good defense there from Vegas, making sure that they do not give any opportunities to try and get an easy look. And speaking of easy looks,
Murphy.
Great dunk there from Murphy. Goodness.
That hesitation step back drew the defender in, and Murphy just, you almost see how happy he was, how open of a lane the mouse was able to generate just with a little bit of a ball move. And he exploded to the basket there. And Bangor, of course, got called timeout after that. This is the last chance they have to close this series out, so I don't blame them for calling a timeout early here, even if they are up by 1.
Yeah, and the same thing that we said about the Cards can be said about the Tides as well. They are also a fairly young team, making sure that they don't really lose sight as we do see some of the bench players coming in for both sides.
Yeah, and Kataguri instantly getting a bucket off the bench. Yeah, I think in terms of veteran presence on the team, you have to really go into the bench on Bangor to find one. AMR 2018 draftee, Ash 2019 draftee. I mean, I would say AMR is getting into the veteran status. He's been a starter for 3 years now. Or 4 years, I should say. No, 3, because he took over after Lance retired. That's right.
Yeah.
Bangor still up by 1 here, even after the basket by Vegas.
Yeah, but now Vegas has a chance to take the lead after that missed opportunity.
Well, and we see Robin still on the floor, and you're going to have to wonder what Brandon getting in foul trouble will do to their rotation.
I mean, honestly, considering how often that's been happening throughout this series, as we get another block there, it will stay wildcard's ball with 6 on the left on the shot clock. But with how often it's happened throughout this series, they might have a game plan set for it, and the expectations of Ivy playing a bit more than average during the regular season has come into fruition. As O'Hara goes for the mid ranger, and it's not going to be good this time.
But the St. Martin will head to the line for 2 after the foul called there. Yeah, I feel a little bad for Brandon because now he's having to watch from the sideline. And you have to imagine being on the sideline is
Ugh.
probably the worst place to be because all you can do is think.
Yeah, it's a strong mental struggle there, especially when it's such an important game such as this. You know, it's not often you get this opportunity to try and be able to try and finish things off in a game number 7, and being in a situation that you are where you're sitting on the bench because of your foul trouble, it can be a lot on somebody, especially for someone so young after an and one opportunity there and giving Ivy her first personal of this game.
I do not know how they got the basket to fall over top of Robbins like that because Smith was absolutely getting smothered by the Great Dane, but the Goose able to somehow get the and one, but no good. Making up a little bit for the fact that St. Martin missed both of his free throws on the other end, so you know they came away a little worse for wear, but not as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're only down by 1 possession still, as Robbins signed a dish to O'Hara for 3, but it's going to be in and out this time.
See, and Bangor is immediately trying to shut down Robbins, double teaming her in the post like that. You know that they know who they have to stop in this game to win, and it's
Yeah.
Robbins.
Yeah, Robbins has really been like the biggest factor for Vegas in some of the wins that they have had so far. And they have to make sure to contain her as much as possible, as King not able to get that mid-ranger down.
And Bangor, you have to imagine they want to build up a good lead here. Again, they had the 3-1 advantage in this series, and they do not want to walk away at the end of this series being known as a choker.
Yeah, trust me, that's not the label you really want to be attached to from a lot of fans. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. But it's been pretty even Steven so far, as both sides are above 50%, 60% in total, and having a similar shot opportunities as well.
Yeah, and it's going to probably come down to the free throw game and potentially even the turnover margin, as both teams have. We've seen moments where one team has started cold and has picked it up, and right now both teams are coming out on their A game as Vegas takes the lead once again with under 2 minutes left to go in this first quarter. It's anyone's game still.
Yeah, you can say that again, as now the crowd's starting to get into it as they finally get their lead after a while. But that might change here as Furlington able to go ahead and get the lead right back.
And a quick attack to the basket. Finger roll good. Back and forth we go once again. King going to be the one to bring it up the court.
And I gotta say, Las Vegas trying to go toe for toe with the Tides bench so far into this game, because right now the main theme has been that the Wildcards bench has not really been much of a factor within this series.
Yeah, but as this quarter's coming to a close, I want to point out that Robbins has not sat even a minute. I fully expect her to be subbed out. And oh, great screen, left it wide open, laying to the basket. Another easy finger roll for Vegas to push their lead to 3.
Yeah, and honestly, this is a great thing for Vegas, as trying to end this quarter with the lead is a really good in confidence, because that has barely been the occasion within this series.
No, I mean, they basically had the lead at the very end of the game, and that's been about it for some of these games. Or, maybe a 6-point lead at most. Is Allen not able to get that to fall, but Robin's second chance bucket is good.
Mm.
Pushing it to 30, and Bangor will have the final shot of this quarter. Quick pass down to Ivan. Ivan for three is good.
Oh!
And that's going to end the first quarter. Bangor down by 2 here after that big three from Ivan Divakovic.
Yeah, Ivan, what a way to try and finish up that quarter. Even though they're down, that's certainly going to change the momentum quite a little bit with a three like that. And those are the kind of plays that are going to matter in a game like this.
Yes, and I want to see who's still on the floor. Yes, Brandon is back in. Robbins is out. And I have a feeling Bangor's going to keep attacking the paint. They want to get foul trouble. As Oakley is also back in to match against Brandon. He's going to get a quick basket, dish down low in the post. Tie game once again. Bo going to bring it up for Vegas.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting how this is going to play out, as Brandon did held his own these past couple of games in the paint. As St. Martin go ahead with a quick dunk.
Great alley-oop dish by Bo. Again, the St. Martin gave the ball off to the Chickadee, and the defender just lost track of St. Martin after he no longer had the ball, and he just had an open lane to the basket. Fullerton driving in, stepping back after the screen, no good. St. Martin going to pull down the missed shot. Bangor a chance to, Vegas a chance to add to the lead. It's a quick play to Parks.
Woo!
Down low in the post. Dangerous pass, but, you know, when they're able to thread it through, it leaves them an open basket.
Yeah, and right now, Vegas really trying to push the tempo a little bit so far into this game. This is the second time where we actually saw an exposed lane be able to get to the basket very quickly and go for the quick basket.
But speaking of alley-oop, answering
Oh,
back,
my goodness.
Anari to Fullerton to quiet the crowd. I mean,
Yeah, right now we're seeing how close the game is right now, with the biggest lead being 5 on Vegas's end, and it quickly going back and forth between lead changes and lead ties.
well, and that was the thing. The 5-point advantage was only for less than 10 seconds because it was that 3 that broke that 5-point lead. Brought it back down to 2, and Bangor a chance to tie it up once again or even take the lead. But no, they're going to Oakley in the post against St. Martin. The step-back fadeaway is good from Oakley, making up for his struggles in that overtime Game 6.
Yeah, and honestly, that's a shot that he will take all day, every day against St. Martin, a much smaller defender compared to Oakley.
Fenton pulling the ball back to the perimeter, calling for the screen from Brandon. And he's going to go for a 3. Is good.
Woo! Yeah, it's a good way of rattling it home there, as Vegas really going to need the three game within this one, because every 3 point's going to matter so much, as both sides aren't really known for doing that.
Yeah, Jasper, the rookie, also coming off the bench, getting a big 3 there, and Ash not able to get that one the fall. Vegas a chance to push it back to 5. Fenton back to Bo. Quick pass to St. Martin, who drove to the basket, but Oakley comes out the board.
Yeah, great play, but not able to execute that time. But it seems like they really do found a good play to continue to attack the ties in the paint. And oh, what a great block there!
Yeah, not gonna second chance opportunity. St. Martin not able to pull down the board after the block, but still able to get a stop there. Fullerton, and a quick 3. Brandon gonna tip it back in though.
Woo!
5-point lead once again for Vegas here in the second quarter.
Yeah, right now you got to give credit due to the Vegas bigs. They are looking very comfortable on both ends of the floor, as Fullerton goes for a mid-range, but it's not going to be good this time.
Yeah, St. Martin stepping in and stepping up, and Bo finding an open lane in the fast break. Vegas has picked up the tempo here, and Bangor is struggling to keep up, and I wouldn't be shocked if we get a timeout here. But no, Bangor going to let it ride as they too find an open lane under the basket for Ash.
Yeah, and honestly, they're probably going to try and say, anything you can do, I can do better, after these past few possessions where they got to attack with the same play over and over again. Now they're trying to say, all right, we're going to give you a taste of your own medicine.
Yeah, and Bangor, like I said, I think they're going to make some subs on the next dead ball. And A nice lane to the basket, not able to convert. Battle for the board. Brandon coming out on top, and the second chance bucket is good for the Polar Bear. And you see there, the field goal percentage for LVG is staying above 60, while Bangor's is starting to drop down to 52. And McRae against Brandon, blocked.
Oh my
Huge
goodness.
block there.
A ferocious block from the Big Bear, and the momentum is really fully on Vegas as they have a chance to have the biggest lead of the night.
Yeah, a chance of double digits if they go for a 3 here. Back out to Brandon. Parks calling for the screen. Gets left over beyond the arc. And it's no good. Almost tipped back in by Brandon, but Bangor walks away with a sigh of relief after leaving Connor Parks that open.
Yeah, much needed break. I don't know why the defender tried to collapse on Brandon like the way that it did, but Parks with the quick steal.
But Ash going to answer back with one of his own 3-on-1 fast break. I can't even call it a fast break when it's 3 defenders against you. Has to back off to the perimeter.
Yeah, it's trying to calm things down a little bit, and right now we do get a quick switch, and we get another block there, but it doesn't matter with the mid-range there from Oakley.
Does that count as assist if the ball's blocked to a wide open player like that, or?
I don't think so.
Okay, we can't give Vegas the assist because they basically just smacked it right to Oakley, who was standing there waiting for it.
I mean, it wasn't necessarily intentional. They just try to make sure to knock it. They just try to make sure that the ball didn't prevent in the hoop. It's just that both defenders tried to take it instead of having one being on, try to box out Oakley. But, you know, it is what it is.
And we see starters coming back in. Robin's still going to have a chance to catch her breath. She was out on the floor the entire first quarter, so it doesn't surprise me. St. Martin calling for the screen. Foul from behind. Angel going to get her first. Murphy going to head to the line for an and one opportunity.
Yeah, and right now, Vegas really kind of found some weaknesses within the wall of the ties within the paint, because that has really been a struggle for them. But now, since this series has gone so long, they've finally been able to find a few cracks into this defense.
Yeah, and I mean, Oakley and Angel have been such a nuisance this series. And I think what the answer has been is speed. I think Vegas is picking up how fast they attack the paint rather than trying to do it methodically. Do it with pure speed, and I think that's where Angel is struggling is, she's not able to get up and down the court as fast, and Oakley's having to try and carry the full brunt of it, and he just can't do it all alone.
No, not at all, as we get another miss there for Bangor. Brandon with another rebound.
Now, I will say the speed is a double-edged sword because Brandon himself is not the speediest fur on the court, and I don't know how long his stamina can hold up if they're expecting him to run 110% the entire game. Robbins is definitely more of a agile big in that regard.
Yeah, for sure, and really that's what makes the matchup between Brandon and Oakley so interesting, because they are both Bears, but Oakley is a little bit more lanky and a lot more athletic compared to Brandon.
Speaking of the big block there, God. That pair came flying in out of nowhere.
Yeah, for sure. Giving us a great example of his presence on the court. Goodness gracious.
Oh, and Bangor, how are you going to answer back after that great block? Getting it to Ash down the post. So many bodies around, not able to find the basket.
Yeah, and Vegas, really a good job recollecting themselves, making sure to rush over on defense so they won't get another fast break point, because that's also been an issue for Vegas in the series.
Doyle, dish from Brandon is good for beyond the arc, and Doyle, he just sneaks in those threes. He's not going to take them every opportunity, but dang, do they hurt when they fall.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And now Vegas threatening to take double digits if Bangor misses a shot here, but that's not going to be the case with AMR doing what he does best.
Yeah, and honestly, Bangor, Vegas is playing lights out right now, and Bangor is the first one starting to struggle. And as the lead builds, you have to imagine the pressure builds on Bangor too.
Yeah, for sure, as you get another miss there for Vegas, and the Tides have an opportunity to cut down the deficit a little bit.
Ooh,
Oh,
Murphy wrapping up AMR on the way to the basket, and that's going to be a free trip to the line for 2 for the Bird. And, you know, it's a double. I could see it being played out 2 ways. You know, as you build a good lead, you could start to play loose, and you don't feel as tight in your gameplay. But at the same time, you can start to play a little too, I don't want to say lackadaisical, but without fear. And sometimes that can cause you to start making careless mistakes as well. So Vegas has to stay hyper-focused here, because Bangor has had times where they can score 10 points on you in a very short turn.
yeah. I mean, we saw that in game number 3, really, as we get a quick foul there as Morrison will go on the line for 2, and this is the first time that Vegas really had a big of a lead as they did in a while in this series, and it's really up to them to really kind of try to hone in that rarity and really kind of stay on it.
Yeah, like you said, they can't. This is a position they don't normally find themselves in. I mean, maybe I think in game 1 or 2 they had a decent lead that they watched disappear, but you know, I think 6 points has been the greatest they've had since game 1, and you know, they've really had to play from behind for a lot of the series, and they need to keep their pedal on the metal and don't let Bangor find any kind of breathing room in this series, or this last game of the series, as Ivan hit a big 3 to end the quarter, can't get one to fall there.
Yeah, right now Vegas doing a really good job just forcing the Tides to really rely on the perimeter more so than the paint. And that's really kind of been why they have such a pretty significant lead right now, as Ivy finds a way to get the second chance opportunity and slam it home. Goodness, I had to like fight between 2 defenders to get that get the rock back up.
The Great Dane just ripped the ball out of the main Wolf's paws as she was trying to pull down that board, and I feel a little bit bad for the rookie, but right now we've got a good matchup, a tough matchup. Category versus Robbins. You know, we talk about 2 lanky athletic furs in the post. Is King not able to get the ball to fall, and Robbins going to pull down the board. LVG a chance for double-digit lead as Morrison, good spin move, lays it off the fingertips, and they are up by 11 here with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this first half.
Yeah, right now everyone's going to look at the Tide and say, what are you going to do here after being now being down by double digits? Are you going to be able to try and hone in and try to get things back in control here? And then we'll do just that with a quick layup there from AMR.
And he's perfect from the floor thus far tonight. And, you know, you almost say, got to shoot more than Kid, because 100% field goal. Oh bad alley-oop attempt there. And AMR, no one around for Miles, dunks it down.
And that is something you really want to see there for the Tides. The Vegas got way too cocky in that last possession, and Tides made him pay for sure.
And AMR was already halfway down the court by the time the ball was passed, and no one was going to be around, and he might be the hero of this game if he can keep putting up the numbers that he has. I mean, he needs to shoot even more with how well he's doing for the Tides. Doyle going to answer back with a 2 of his own. Not as fancy, though.
Yeah, not as fancy whatsoever. But yeah, you were all right. AMR is going to be like the big factor here for the Tides trying to win this game. He did have the most points in game number 6, but nowhere near as efficient as he is right now. But it's still really reliant on these 2.
Murphy on the perimeter, back to Morrison. Ooh, ball tipped by defender. Fletcher comes up with it and does a quick shot. Somehow makes it fall after nearly losing it. Pushing it back to 11 here is Vegas. This is the highest scoring half that they have had, or first half they've had in this series thus far, as they've almost broken 60 here.
Yeah, and that's really a good look there if you're a Wildcards fan. As we get another turnover there from Category. This time Robbins swiping the ball away.
Oh, Morrison.
Oh, my God.
The defender didn't even jump to block that ball. And AMR, open again, goes for another dunk.
Yeah, AMR has just completely taken over the offensive scoring for Bangor at this point with how well he has been shooting. He has not missed yet.
I think he almost has 20 points, and a foul on the way up by King. That's his second. Will send Morrison to the line for two. Bangor will have the final possession, and I know who I'd give it to if I was Bangor.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if both of these free throws do go down for Morrison, you'd rather not end the half being down by double digits for the first time in this series for the Tides.
Yeah, first one is good. And the second as well. And AMR going to be the one to bring it up the court for Bangor. I mean, I would trust him not to lose the ball, unlike the last couple of possessions we've seen for Bangor.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting how this is going to play out.
I think he's just going to call for a screen and go for a three, and that's exactly what he does. And he still
Oh
finishes it
my
perfect.
gosh.
Oh, AMR.
AMR has really kind of putting his stamp for the Tides, but they're still down by quite a bit. Down by 8, 61-53 to end off the first half. But you got to be feeling good for AMR, and I'm sure the next game plan for the second half is going to be revolving all around him with how well he's shooting.
He scored 20 points. He has scored a little under half of all of Bangor's scoring this game. And he's done it perfectly. He is the only thing keeping their field goal percentage afloat right now.
Yeah, for sure. And that's really kind of been the biggest thing is really trying to find a better supporting cast. We do head into the stats as right now we're seeing a lot of even play between all of the players for the Cards here, but it has really been a good team effort to try and finish this up.
Yeah, Doyle leading the way in points, and again, he does it quietly. Like he does not. He does it throughout the game. Obviously, he hit that big three, but also going to the line
Mhm.
twice and hitting all his free throws as well. And the bench hasn't been as impactful for the wild cards here tonight. I feel like the starters have all pretty well split the load, with Robbins basically spending the entire first quarter out there. She kind of took
Yeah.
away some of the shots from the bench, but you go and look at the Bangor Tides, and Oakley, great, 4 or 5. Anari, 4 or 6, great. AMR, 7 of 7. Looking at those three
Yeah.
players, you'd say, hey, they must be winning right now, but they're not.
No. Yeah, and as you said, AMR 20 points already, perfect from the field. That's almost unheard of in the league. It's such a rarity, and being able to see AMR doing as well as he is, you expect him to be able to be like the main go-to when he's on the floor. So Vegas is probably going to try and do whatever they can to disrupt that, but someone else on Bangor is going to have to step up as the focus is going to be on AMR throughout the rest of this game.
Yeah, and you saw there, it's the bench. I hate to say it, Bangor, but your bench right now is playing absolutely below its standard, as so many of their players have missed every shot they have attempted, and they might have to make some adjustments in the rotation for the second half to avoid putting all those players out at once and leave some good furs in.
Oh,
And
oh my
Brandon
goodness.
quickly drawing his third foul. He went the entire second quarter without giving up one, but an and one opportunity is good. And Bangor, 6 points in like the last 30 seconds, has pulled it back within 5.
Yeah, and it's once again trying to take that opportunity for Vegas to understand that even though you have a cushion, do not be comfortable with it.
Well, not
Act like
especially
you're laying
there.
on a oh my
Oh,
god.
Morrison having to fight for the ball, steps out of bounds, and they're not going to call that a steal, but that
Yeah,
should
no.
be credited as a steal basically because that
Yeah,
forced the turnover.
that was a great defensive effort there as if forcing Morrison to step out of bounds, trying desperately to get the ball back. Like that's just, give credit where credit is due for that one from Minari.
Yeah, and Anari got that and one opportunity last time after attacking the paint. Ooh. Gonna step it up from beyond the arc. Anari, no good on the three. That would have brought it back within 2. Vegas trying to answer back. They need to stop the bleeding that has been the Bangor Tides. Getting back in this game. Murphy, ISO play. trying to get back in the paint, but shot clock's becoming a problem.
Yeah, he's got to do something with it.
I mean, he burned the entire shot clock without passing it once. Not any kind of play as AMR continues his perfect run here tonight. 22 points now.
Yeah, and you really got to give credit to the defensive efforts really had of basically just shutting any kind of opportunity down for that last possession on Murphy.
Yeah, he called for screens, and the defender was all over him every step of the way. This time actually drawing up some kind of play as Murphy attacking the paint against Angel, not able to get by her, though. And that is a two-minute drought, and AMR fouled on the way up as Morrison had to foul hard to stop him. Going to send him to the line for 2.
Yeah, and honestly, that's kind of like the biggest thing because AMR has just been going insane so far tonight, and that streak is going to continue here as the first one goes down.
And good on the second as well. Bangor, what once was a double-digit lead, has pulled it back within 1 thanks to this 2-minute scoring drought that the Wildcards currently find themselves in, and they need to get something going.
Yeah, momentum really has to swing back over to Vegas, and Baylor gonna answer right back to try and calm things down a little bit as they finally got their first basket when it seems like 2.5 minutes within this game.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that breaks the magic that was the Bangor Tide's defense and lets them get back in this game, because Bangor was starting to look like they were going to take the lead, and that 3 opportunity there falls just a little long from Inari. Doyle going to bring it up the other end for Vegas. Back to Murphy. Calling from the screen from Robbins. Steps back for beyond the arc for 3. No good. Robbins cleans it up, though. Off the glass is good for the second chance bucket.
And honestly, once again, relying on the bigs to really kind of get things going here, as that has been the main thing. And AMR fouled once again, this time for Murphy. And it really seems like that they're just basically kind of roughing up AMR a little bit just to see if they can shake him, but that's not going to be the case here.
Well, and they're getting beat. AMR is getting by them, and they have to foul or else give up a freebie.
And in all honesty, at this rate, AMR might hit 40 if we're not careful.
Hey, we're going to double overtime tonight, right? He has plenty of time.
Yeah, I mean, considering how the last 2 games went, double overtime wouldn't be much of a surprise here.
As we see substitution. Robin throwing a screen from Murphy on the corner, not going to get anything going. Calling for the screen the other way. Bo attacking the basket, almost losing the ball. That's a big defender for the poor Chickadee to try and get around, and not able to get to fall there. Ash going to go the other way for Bangor. Back to Inari, top of the arc. Gets a screen by one defender, up against Robbins now, and beats Robbins in the paint. 13 points for Inari now. Doyle gets a screen from Brandon, tacks the paint, and fouled by Oakley. That's his second.
And honestly, I think that's probably what they really need to do once again, is to continue to try and kind of use some of the playbook that they've used in the first half to try and expose the smallest margin of a lane to really get the Tides rattled back up again.
Yeah, and I mean, he's, again, picking up the speed a little bit. Brandon not able to get the hook shot to fall there against Oakley. Oakley going to pull it down, and Bangor a chance to take the lead for the first time in forever. Fullerton not able to get it, but Oakley getting a second chance bucket. And that's something that's been missing from Bangor, is they have not been getting second chance opportunities, but finally starting to see that now as you have Vegas calling a timeout to try and make an adjustment to stop this scoring run that the Tides have found themselves in.
Yeah, the Vegas got too relaxed throughout these past few minutes, and it has shown that the Tides being able to finally take the lead right on back. And right now, everybody's on the edge of their seat because of how they've been able to let go of the lead that they had. But Robin's trying to
Oh,
clean things back up, but gets stuffed there.
yeah, that is shocking. Robin's getting blocked from behind. Big block there, and Bangor looking to capitalize on that as Oakley, great matchup
Oh,
in the
boy.
post, loses the ball. Bo,
Oh,
that
my
was his
goodness.
only chance to stop him, was to strip him there.
The chickadee really being find a way to strip that clean. Was very surprised no whistle was called.
I mean, everyone is shocked because Oakley wins that battle every single time unless he loses the ball. That was the only hope.
And that 0.1% chance was all you needed right there.
Oakley against Robbins, no good. Vegas trying to capitalize. And I feel like Bangor's also picked up the speed on their offensive end, and that's been a factor. As Doyle taking it himself, laying it up, 13 points for the veteran. Half of what AMR has managed to put up thus far.
Yeah, but it's once again Vegas trying to go for the more of a team effort. That's really been the theme for Vegas for majority of it, as we get another miss there from Fullerton.
The bench has been struggling so much for Bangor, but there we go. Inari, great
Oh,
interception of that pass. And she's going to elevate and dunk it down. 68-69 now.
nice. And honestly, you got to give Ty's credit where credit is due, trying to make sure that they are not going to go down without a fight, because even though they came in with very little momentum, it really kind of shows how close it's really been for each of the victories for Vegas, because it has not been easy.
No, it has not. Back to Bo on the perimeter. Taking the shot. Gets
Oh my
blocked, though, and the
God.
shot clock violation comes out. Oakley, easy block of his life. Matched up against Bo after the screen. Bangor will have possession, and Oakley will finally get a chance to rest himself after that block.
Yeah, I mean, that gives credit is due Oakley. Even though he has been a little bit of quiet a couple of times in this series, he has really been playing lights out. But of course, when he sits down, Vegas doing great jobs defensively.
Yeah, intercepting the ball once again there. Robbins going to bring it in. Parks from the corner. No good, but Robbins still gets the ball despite the category being in front of her. Such a menace in the post. And a
Oh
foul
my
from
goodness.
beyond the arc. Well, what do we call this, Marcus? This isn't the old three. This isn't an old school 3-point play. Is this the new school 3-point play?
This is the futuristic 3-point play. I mean, it wouldn't be futuristic if Parks made it and it was a 4-point play, but
Hey, I believe we're gonna have a 4-point line one day in the FBA.
Oh goodness, let's not go there. Oh my lord. I get it. Everyone can shoot from like 50 feet nowadays, but let's not get too carried away with it.
So you're saying half-court shots shouldn't be worth 5 points?
No, I think that'd be a wild thing to do, because at that point, you're just expecting everybody to throw full court heaves at that point.
Well,
In any case,
2 missed free throws there, a wasted opportunity from a rare 3-point beyond the arc, and wildcards again calling timeout. They are burning through their timeouts as Bangor has tied it up once again, 70 apiece.
yeah, and that's something that you're really gonna have to have in talks with, because those are not those opportunities comes in once in a lifetime. I'm sure Parks is getting an earful, making sure that the emphasis that, hey, I get it. This is one of the most important games of your career, but you've got to walk it in and make sure you get those go down. But now they're all tied up, so they need to go ahead and make some kind of answer here. And we get a legal screen there from Ivy, and that is not something you really want to see there if you're Vegas.
No, that is a momentum killer in terms of, okay, we just had this timeout. We talked about this plan we're going to draw up, and then immediately failing it is a missed opportunity for Bangor. Robin's going to put on that board. And she's playing a lot in this third quarter. I would be shocked for her to stay in much longer, because they're going to need her in the fourth. Is blocked there. Nari going to bring it up the other end for Bangor.
I mean, I guess it kind of really shows the confidence that they have in Brandon. Yes, he has his third foul, and you could expect it to come in at this point. But they want to make sure that he is mentally prepared as well into the fourth quarter too.
Yeah, but if it can't be the detriment of Robbins being exhausted, as Kataguri
Oh,
finds a way past the defense, dunking it down.
yeah, and Tide's taking the lead again. So right now, the shoe is going to be on the other foot for Vegas. We'll see how they answer back here.
Well, of course, they're going to go the Great Dane down the post. Not... Oh, blocked by
Oh my
Kataguri, though.
gosh!
The main wolf getting a little revenge from earlier in the game.
Yeah, Kataguri going toe-to-toe against Ivy, and that is definitely a matchup to wait to come in future years, as we see another foul there, this time on Fletcher for reach-in.
Yep, Inari going to get subbed out. Kataguri going to get the inbound. Matthew with the ball on the perimeter, calling for the screen from Kataguri. Attacking the paint. Is able to make the basket fall off the glass. And the field goal percentage for Vegas has plummeted.
Yeah, it's been plummeted since. And another bad pass into the paint going to Kataguri, trying to feed Ivy. And now all the momentum is going over to the Tides. They need to find something here in order to get things back on their momentum.
Fenton, good defensive effort there. Pulls down the defensive rebound after smothering the drive to the basket. And you're right, Vegas, they have to find something here. They're going to go to Robbins with the hook shot in the post is no good.
Yeah, I think this is probably a indication that she might have to sit for the rest of this quarter, because I think she's gassed at this point.
They have asked a lot of the Great Dane, and you're right. I think finally we're starting. This is Game 7. This has been a long playoff series, and they're asking a lot of her.
And not to mention the fact that 2 out of those 6 games have been back-to-back overtimes. So it's a lot to ask for a player to be sitting in this long, as Aridi is able to go ahead and lay it up and in, finally getting on the board for Vegas.
Yeah, and that was a great fast break. Very long pass. I mean, Helen was halfway down the court and absolutely threaded it to her. Benton going to come away with the board there.
Yeah, and I do see Brandon sitting on the sideline, so we might expect a switch up between Ivy and Brandon once the next dead ball comes in.
Yeah, and St. Martin has shown up as well, as Benton calling for the three is good. The Rabbit, rookie, that's his second, and he pulls Vegas back in the lead.
Yeah, very much needed 3 for Vegas, because they do need to make sure that they are not going to let the Tides get away with this one. We got a nice dish over to Smith.
Kataguri giving the screen, and no, they're going to call a legal screen on Kataguri there. A turnover, and that is a dead ball, so we will see the number of turnovers. Both teams. Only a minute and 15 left in this quarter. Almost a tie game here, as you're right, Brandon back on the floor.
Yep, probably trying to finish this up, and we see a reach-in foul on Kataguri this time, and Kataguri starting to wreck it up pretty quickly there, as that's his 3rd personal. You don't have to worry about it as much, considering that we're just about to enter the 4th quarter, but it does lay for concerns if they start attacking him and he's continuing to playing sloppily.
Yeah, I mean, she's coming off the bench, so it's not that huge of a deal. Is Brandon going to just do a spot-up jumper as the shot clock was becoming a problem?
Yeah,
a little outside his range.
Yeah, that's not really a shot that you expect him to make, but right now, Ash making some noise of his own. He's been relatively quiet so far in game number 7, but much needed basket here as it gives the Tide the lead back.
Well, yeah, he's on the floor now. Opportunity to kind of get some scoring going as the alley-oop to Fletcher.
Oh my goodness!
That was very dangerous. The defender was all over him, and still Fletcher forcing it down. The midseason trade from Williamsburg. The Otter has to be happy finding himself in the finals here.
Yeah, sometimes it's those important moves that really kind of find that important role on a team that can actually lead to a championship, to find that footing, as we get a nice drive for the Tide to take the lead once again with 15 seconds left in the game clock for the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, King able to get by Brandon there and get a layup, but now Vegas, can you get the final shot? Oh, dangerous behind, no look pass, intercepted by Kataguri. Matthew Oh, the buzzer beater rolls out, but Vegas finds themselves down here by 1 after what was a double-digit lead earlier in this game. 12 minutes left to go in regulation to crown our 2023-2024 FBA champion. And right now, Marcus, it is a coin flip.
It is 100% a coin flip because it's been back and forth between these two teams. Right now, you will say that the momentum is on the Tides just a little bit, but of course the crowd really making sure that they are behind the wild cards here as we get a nice dish to Doyle, and he's able to go ahead and get the lead right back to open up this last quarter of this season.
Yeah, great play down low. Now Ash, we see mostly players back in on the floor. Ash, great step in mid-range. Just pulling up inside the arc for a big 2 there. And AMR back on the floor. We'll have to see if, actually, no, AMR's not back on the floor.
Oh
Fletcher!
My God!
Another huge dunk from the corner. As you see there, Vegas had the biggest lead at 11, but now we have 16 lead changes. And yes, sorry, AMR is back on the floor. He's been perfect thus far. Can he continue that for the rest of the game and lead the Tides to a championship?
Yeah, that's going to be the big question here as right now AMR going for the quick drive. And again, he has just not been missing at all. He is clearly the hottest player on the floor.
I mean, considering he came from the Firestorm, maybe channeling a little that of him right here tonight. Ooh, wide open Doyle taking the 3 from the right sideline is good. Another 3 coming out.
And that's the risk of trying to go for a turnover like that, because if you try and help a defender and try to force something out of there, you can leave a defender, a player wide open for an easy 3 like that.
Yeah, and right now with Vegas, who they have on the floor, you know, they can hit 3s. We've seen Fenton hit quite a few, and Doyle as well. And now the screen coming in for Ash. Ash is catching a bit of a hot streak himself. 3 in a row for him. Now he's up to 5 of 9 after, like I said, struggling in the first half a bit.
Yeah, now it seems like it'd be a little bit of a guard show right now in the early goings of this quarter. And you really gotta, and it kind of bodes well because it gives opportunity to open some lanes on both sides.
Doyle attacking the basket, getting fouled on the way up. We'll send him to the line for 2. Tie game here, 84 apiece. Perfect from the free throw line thus far. That's another. He has a chance to push his total to 20. Like I said, the bigs I don't feel like have been as impactful for the wild cards. It's been Doyle here tonight for them, stepping up.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, what better player to really go on the charity stripe and as well as trying to catch fire, because he is easily one of the main veteran for the wild cards, and really trying to see him kind of take over kind of shows a lot of confidence.
Okay, everyone, AMR missed. He is, in fact,
Oh!
mortal. Oh, Oakley. Momentum carried him past the line after that steal. It's going to be an over-the-back violation.
Yep, and now the Cards have a fresh 24 to play with, so the Cards getting a little bit of a break there.
I mean, AMR missing, immediately turning the ball over. You know, some good things is Morrison, no good on the 3.
Yeah, but they got to take advantage of those situations, and I do not want Brandon to be go up against AMR, but Robbins end up actually drawing the foul this time.
Well, up to 3 fouls now for her as well, and I think Brandon also at 3, so, you know, not necessarily foul trouble considering this is the 4th quarter, but still, racking up those fouls is the quick play by Inari, able to get the basket to fall. Also, lights out tonight, 8 of 12 for her.
Yeah, a lot of Tide players are being incredibly efficient so far. Of course, Ash is now starting to pick up the pace a little bit offensively, as we do get a quick lay-in from Morrison to stay ahead of the lead. But right now, you got to look as Bangor is being very efficient, being hot around. If Vegas cools off a little bit, that could scream trouble.
Well, Vegas cooling off is what gave up that double-digit lead, and, you know, 3 timeouts left for Vegas. They don't have a lot of opportunities to have the coach, you know, chime in and say, hey, guys, this is the changes I want to make, as Brandon ISO, not able to get it to fall. AMR going to bring it up the other way for Bangor. Quick play down to Ash in the post, off the glass, no good. Murphy going to pull it down.
Yeah, good defense there from Murphy. Really trying to stay toe-to-toe with the speed of Ash in that one.
Yeah, the Mouse going to take it himself, dishing it to Brandon, who turns around against Ash.
Boom!
Takes the mid-ranger from 15 feet and converts it. 4-point lead for Vegas now.
Yeah, Brandon trying to feel himself out of that one, making a good mid-ranger there.
It's Inari. Talking about her hot paw coming in. She's tagging the paint, but dishing it back to Oakley, who's on the perimeter. The Kitsune going to get the ball back once again. Ash, though, off the screen. Open look. No good there.
Yeah, and honestly, Vegas getting a little bit of a lucky break there. You can expect that being made all day. Speaking of, nope, never mind.
I mean, as open of a look as possible and just a little too much. Ooh, Brandon, good pass there. Tips the ball. Morrison, no one's going to catch her. Dunking it down. She missed the three, but she's going to clean it up with the dunk after the turnover.
Yep.
Tides.
And the Tides giving a timeout here as they find themselves down by 6. I mean, we have seen them come up from worse in this game, so it's still doable, but they need to get the momentum back on their side.
It is, without a doubt, dangerous for them to find themselves down by 6 here. They need to hit a quick basket to show and shut up this crowd, because the crowd is getting back in this game. Angel. Back to AMR. Back to Oakley. Oakley against Brandon. Shot clock winding down. Inari. No, it's going to be Brandon blocking Oakley. And the crowd is on their feet.
Yeah, the rookie has really been turning up these past few games on the defense as we get closer to the end of games, like really showing that clutch gene right there.
Robbins down to Morrison. Found her way into the paint. Fouled on the way up by Inari. Will send Morrison to the line for 2. The Border Collie a chance to push this to 8 if she's good on both, but no, a little too strong on that one.
Yeah, these are not the free throws you want to miss here with just under 7 minutes left of the season. I'm just going to call it about a season at this point, in case we get an overtime game maybe. But the second one does go down. You can't be missing free throws at this point as we're getting so close. While yes, you have a pretty decent lead, it can end on a dime as we've seen already before within this series, in this game alone even.
Yeah, and right now Bangor has a few players that are starting to get hot as Inari attacking the paint. And when you have multiple players that are hot, you're trying to defend, it is so difficult to stop them. And Ash tipping the ball against Doyle, getting a paw in his face. I almost wish Vegas had a reset there after that tip ball instead of trying to force it just because he had a half lane to the basket. And Ash not able to take it coast to coast, but ball bounced off his back. Almost.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, Robbins, got to be careful there.
Yeah, I think that's kind of one of the things that you cannot really pick careless here. If you're Vegas, as Morrison not able to get that 3-point, but Brandon slamming it down.
7-point game, Bangor. How do you answer? Who do you go to? AMR, Inari, Ash? I want to see a 3 come out. That's what they need to get back in this game.
Yeah, for sure. But right now, instead, they're going to give it to Oakley, and Oakley is able to get the shooting foul against Baylor with that delayed setup, but Brandon was not really prepared for that at all.
No, he really was trying to go for the charge there and not going to get a call, but that's only his 4th foul as Oakley good on the first. I mean, getting to the free throw line, if you can make those free throws, have at it. We've seen Vegas miss 3 in this half, 2 of those being off that 3 attempt. Back within 5 now. Bangor's defense has to shut down the wild cards.
Yeah, 100%. And we do get to see an illegal screen from Baylor, and now he's on his 5th, and that screams a lot of trouble here as he is at risk of fouling out for the 3rd time in this series.
That's a frustration foul, I think, after getting called for the blocking and then immediately getting called for a legal screen.
Yeah, right now.
And 3 fouls in under 60 seconds. Brandon, oh, that was frustration, and he is out of the finals.
Yeah, he is. I already see his frustration. He is not happy whatsoever, and I'm pretty sure he just, you know, dealing with a lot of frustrations. But now he has to rely on his other teammates to try and finish this up. As Vegas up by 3. We'll see if they're able to take this on.
Yeah, Oakley able to get that contact back-to-back against Brandon. How does Vegas answer after that? St. Martin back on the floor. Sorry, not St. Martin. Fletcher back on the floor. Those big dunks earlier, and Robbins down the post, not able to convert it off the glass. Angel going to put on the defensive rebound.
Yeah, Ivy's going to have to step up big time since we're going to not have Brandon for the next 5 minutes of this quarter. It's going to be a huge opportunity for the Ties to continue to attack and try and take over.
You saw that great double team immediately on Oakley, only leaving Angel on the perimeter. And Oakley from beyond the arc for 3, no good. But Angel, second chance, and she slams it down.
And that really kind of shows the importance of having both Brandon and Robbins on the court. And since Baylor has fouled out, it's going to be a tall task for whoever's going to guard one of the bigs for the Tides, because they have an avenue to really kind of take over.
Yes, Vegas, how do you answer back? Fletcher with the ball, attacking the paint. Pulling up off the glass, no good. Bangor, a chance to take the lead here. Ash going to bring it up for the Tides. And you hear the crowd screaming defense. They are trying everything to keep their team in the lead here. Balls.
Oh.
Robbins, now her 4th foul. If she fouls out, the game is in crisis mode.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Losing both of your starting bigs in a must-win game, obviously, but in a close game such as this, it's not what you really want to see, and that is going to leave a huge scar as the Tides on an 11-2 run has the lead up by 2. I think Vegas may have to consider calling a timeout if things continue go down this route.
They can't afford to let anything go further. I mean, honestly, they had a chance to use their 3rd timeout, but now it is gone thanks to being under 3 minutes left to go. And now, shot clock is becoming a problem. Murphy's going to step inside. 1 second left to go, no good, but Robbins will at least clean it up and tie it once again, 97 apiece.
Yeah, very important shot there for Ivy to try and clean it up, because they cannot allow the Tides to make a run, because if they do, that will pretty much be the series right then and there.
Well, it's, of course, AMR. I haven't said his name in a little while after he made that last miss, but there he goes with the basket, attacking the paint, and the crowd. You can feel the anxiety here in the fans. They've gone quiet with nerves in terms. The tension is just absolutely palpable. Thankfully, a foul will get called against Angel, so we'll go the line for 2 to tie it up possibly.
Yeah, they need these free throws, and who better than Warren to take these shots? Mr. Calm and Collective getting it done there, tying it back up 99 apiece.
And Fenton being brought back in. He's been a hot paw, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc thus far for the Wild Cards. Has Doyle drawn a foul this series?
I don't even know, man. That's a great question.
Oh, Morrison!
Oh.
Giving up an and 1 to Inari now. Inari a chance to put this to a 3-point game if she can convert. And cool as ice, the Kitsune hitting the and 1 game on the edge.
Yeah, with under 2 minutes left in this quarter, you're going to have to ask somebody to make a 3. Speaking of, Fenton being able to get the clutch 3 to tie it up.
They brought him in off the bench. He's been hot from beyond the arc this game. 3 of 3 now, I believe, as the game is tied 102 apiece. Inari.
Yeah, here comes.
Second chance by Oakley. He's going to draw another foul. Okay, there we go. Doyle finally. First foul of this game.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be done. You're trying to slow down the momentum of the Tides as the first one does get made. And the second one is going to be good.
Oh, Vegas down by 2. They're going to let Doyle be the one to bring it up. Keep an eye on Fenton and Morrison. Doyle being the one with the ball. I have a feeling they're going to go for a 3. Morrison with it. Calling for the screen. Gets a look into the paint. No good, but Robinson cleaning it up and tying it up 104 apiece.
Yeah, and Robin, 60 points tonight, and very, very important 16th point there, as we're now tied up once again, but they need to get a stop here.
A stop and a score, or we... Oh, Oakley! Doyle trying to intercept the ball, leaves Oakley wide open, 106 again. A 2-point advantage for Bangor.
Very risky play there from Doyle, trying to intercept the ball and try to go for a fast break. And now they find themselves down again. And Fenton showing that hot hand once again, taking the lead for Vegas.
Under 60 seconds left to go for Tides. They're calling timeout. They know they need the basket.
Yeah, very important basket here. And just letting you guys know, Brandon is fouled out for this game, so it's really coming down to the wire to see what happens. But with them being up by 1 and under a minute left, the Tides need to go ahead and try and see if they can continue to attack the paint, because that has been such a huge situation there.
Double teaming Oakley, but it leaves Inari. Oh, she could have gone for. She does go for 3. No good, but Oakley cleans. Second chance. No good.
Whoa.
Vegas. You hear the crowd going.
Yeah, but right now, Vegas doing everything they can to try and extend this lead to a 1 possession, but a miss there for Robbins, but they clean it up.
Oh, they're going to burn every second of this. They need the basket, but they can burn it down to under 10 as it's going to be Doyle. Blocked!
Oh my goodness!
Bangor, 10 seconds left to go, down by 1. They have so many hot paws on the floor. Who are they going to go to? It's going to be Oakley. Double teamed. The finger roll's good. 2 seconds left. Is that too much time left on the clock? Is Vegas down by 1 here? They have a chance off an inbound to win.
All they really need is a tip in. I imagine that Ivy would probably be the one to go to here to try and take this win and be able to see that and actually give this win to Vegas. But right now, everyone is dead silent. You can hear a pen drop in this stadium.
Everyone is on their feet. I see the trophy, Marcus. The trophy finally will come out unless someone fouls and we get a 1 free throw make, 1 free throw miss. This is ending in 2 seconds.
Yes, I mean, right now, I don't think that trophy is going to go back into the locker room anytime soon. They are ready to go ahead and present this thing at some point, even if we go to overtime. But it all comes down to this.
Fenton bounding it in. I went on him on the floor. Morrison, 3! And no good. Bangor winning finally on the road. It took a monumental effort for them to come out on top here tonight, but they do it by 1 point to bring home their second championship.
Yep, their second championship in franchise history and the second championship within 5 years. The Bangor Tides are your champions, and what a way to end this off. After having a scare, being able to not finishing up in these past 2 games, they are finally able to finish on the road.
I mean, they had everything against them. They were down by double digits, and they came back. And Inari, Oakley, Ash, Rainbow, starters stepped up for them. Rainbow missing only 1 shot. He is my player of the game. I don't care what you say.
Yeah,
30 points. He kept them in it.
Yeah, he is the main go-to, being the leader for the Tides offensively in both of these past 2 games, but this time it came in clutch. 10 for 11, 30 points. Yeah, he definitely deserves the player of the game for this one, and perhaps maybe even MVP of this entire series, because he really stood out to help give the Tides where they are.
Yeah, and God, what a way to finish this series. Oakley, he struggled in overtime in Game 6 and possibly cost the team the victory. To have the ball in his paws for that final shot from Bangor to take the lead, and then for Vegas to have an opportunity to take the lead back. I wish Fenton had been not the one inbounding. He had been so hot from the field. I would have liked to had one more three-pointer, but it's too late to play what if. As
Yeah, there's oh goodness, I can already tell that there was a lot of frustrations right now on the Vegas's end as they are definitely heading back into the locker room after giving their congratulations in a lot of shame because it was so close, so close.
they
But
they had an 11-point lead at one point.
mhm,
They fought back from down 3-1. They can hang their heads high at least that they did not give up when down 3-1 to have back-to-back overtime victories. It was in the cards for them. Just those three free throws they missed in that fourth quarter.
mhm.
That could have
Not
been even one of them could have made the an overtime for the
yeah.
third game in a row.
Yeah, for sure. And not only that, also looking at Brandon being able to really played incredibly sloppy within the most crucial minutes of the game and having himself fouled out for 5 minutes of that quarter. And that's going to be something that's going to pretty much haunt him for the rest of this offseason. I can imagine so.
I don't think I've ever seen a player get 3 fouls in under 60 seconds in the FBA Finals.
No, not at all. That is really a frustrating situation to be there because like that's another what if he actually played clean and not try and show out his frustrations and letting his emotions get to him, if that could have made a difference. But got to give credit where credit is due to Oakley because Oakley was clearly in his head because he went right after him to foul him out.
Yes, and looking at both these teams, you talked about them being young, but not only that, but most of these teams are locked in for another year. The only question really is AMR being a free agent for Bangor. This might have been his free agent tryout for a lot of teams.
Oh, he's gonna get the bank for sure, with the performance that he did tonight, especially. But in this situation, again, you got to give congrats to both of these teams for making it as far as they did, and especially for the Ties to get their second chip within 5 years. They have an opportunity to do something crazy and be able to possibly have a little dynasty of their own. Who you never know.
Yes, and it's been a wonderful series. It's been a wonderful season. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in and joining us here and making another wonderful season of the FBA wrap up. We have many more still ahead of us, and I'm looking forward to see what happens next year. Any final words, Marcus, before we sign off for the night?
Yeah, I gotta say that it has been a wonderful season. Thank you all for tuning in and being with us throughout it. And it's now time for us to go ahead and call it call it a night. And it's gonna be a fun time, be able to get a little bit of rest.
We will see y'all next time. Stay tuned for 2024-2025 FBA season. Have a good night.
See ya.